If you thought this offseason was going to be quiet for the Los Angeles Lakers, think again, because the buzz around the league is already getting louder, and at the center of everything, as always, is LeBron James. The latest wave of speculation points toward a scenario that would shake the entire NBA landscape. Serious recruitment efforts from the Golden State Warriors, with Stephen Curry and Draymond Green potentially leading the charge to bring LeBron to the Bay Area once free agency opens. And let's be honest, this is not some random fantasy created out of thin air. We have seen superstars actively recruit before. We saw it when Kevin Durant joined Golden State years ago. When elite players decide they want to team up, conversations happen behind the scenes. Now imagine the possibility of LeBron and Curry sharing the same jersey after battling each other in multiple NBA finals. It almost feels unreal, but in today's NBA, nothing is truly off the table. At the same time, there is another storyline that refuses to go away: the idea of LeBron returning to the Cleveland Cavaliers for a farewell run. Emotionally, it makes sense. Cleveland is where he began his journey, where he delivered a historic championship, and where his legacy is permanently cemented. But when you move past the emotional angle and start looking at the financial and basketball realities, things get complicated very quickly. Cleveland would not have unlimited flexibility to just sign LeBron outright to a massive deal. Any potential move would likely require a complex sign and trade. That means assets would have to move. Contracts would need to be matched, and key pieces on the Cavaliers roster could be sacrificed to make it happen. One name that naturally enters that conversation is Jarrett Allen. If Cleveland were to pursue LeBron seriously, restructuring the roster would almost be inevitable. Then you have to ask the basketball question: where does LeBron fit in this current Cavaliers lineup? Evan Mobley has grown into a foundational piece. He is most comfortable operating in the frontcourt. If LeBron returns, does he slide into the power forward spot full-time while Mobley shifts more permanently to center? That alignment could work on paper, but it changes the team's identity. It would also demand adjustments from everyone involved. And here is another factor that cannot be ignored: timing. What if Cleveland makes a deep playoff run this season? What if they reach the NBA Finals or even win it all? Would the franchise really want to disrupt that momentum by tearing apart the roster just to bring LeBron back for a sentimental final chapter? Success complicates decisions. If the Cavaliers prove they are true contenders as currently constructed, the urgency to make a dramatic move decreases. Now flip the perspective back to Los Angeles. The Lakers are not just going to sit back and watch this unfold. The organization still values what LeBron brings, both on the court and beyond it. But the financial commitment has to make sense. It is hard to imagine the Lakers offering a contract anywhere near $50 million per season at this stage of his career. That does not diminish his greatness. It simply reflects the realities of roster building under the salary cap. If the Lakers manage to make a smart trade this offseason, perhaps bringing in a defensive anchor like Nick Claxton or adding more athletic depth around their core, the outlook changes again. Suddenly, the idea of running it back with LeBron on a shorter, more flexible deal becomes far more appealing. If the team shows signs of being one or two moves away from legitimate contention, why would he walk away from that? Then there is Golden State. From a pure basketball standpoint, the fit between LeBron and Stephen Curry is fascinating. Curry's gravity off the ball combined with LeBron's playmaking vision could create one of the most dangerous offensive combinations we have ever seen. Draymond Green's defensive IQ would only amplify that dynamic. The question, though, is whether the Warriors can realistically create the cap space necessary without gutting their depth. Unlike rebuilding teams that have room to spend, Golden State would have to maneuver carefully. They cannot simply snap their fingers and generate a massive contract slot. A sign and trade would again become a likely pathway. But what assets would convince the Lakers to cooperate? And would LeBron be willing to take a significant pay cut to make that vision a reality? That is where things get even more interesting. Throughout his career, LeBron has been strategic about his contracts. After earlier experiences with discounts, he has largely avoided dramatic pay cuts. Moving from a high salary to something dramatically lower would be a major shift. Even for a chance to play alongside Curry, that decision would not be taken lightly. There's also the legacy component. One of the most powerful narratives surrounding LeBron is that he has delivered championships wherever he has committed long-term. In Cleveland, in Miami, and in Los Angeles, he has reached the mountaintop. If he joins Golden State, expectations would skyrocket instantly. Anything short of a championship would be viewed as a failure by many critics. That is a heavy burden, especially at this stage of his career. And let's talk about the physical side. For the first time in a long time, we have seen glimpses of LeBron looking human. He is still producing at an elite level. He can still control games with his intelligence and strength. But the explosive first step, the relentless downhill pressure that defined his prime, is not quite the same every single night. Minor injuries and wear and tear are part of the equation now. Despite that, he remains a top-tier player in the league. As a primary option, or even as a powerful secondary option, he still posts numbers that most stars would envy. That is why so many teams would at least explore the possibility if given the chance. But the contract has to align with performance expectations and long-term planning. Some have floated an even more unexpected idea. What if a young, rising team with cap flexibility enters the picture? A team like the San Antonio Spurs, loaded with youth and athleticism, could theoretically offer a compelling basketball environment. Pairing LeBron's experience with an emerging core might be the perfect bridge between eras. It sounds bold, but bold moves define this league. At the end of the day, LeBron is likely to take his time. He will evaluate how the Lakers finish this season. If Los Angeles reaches the conference finals or pushes a contender to the brink in a tough series, that could reinforce the belief that another title run is within reach without changing addresses. Momentum matters. Chemistry matters. Sometimes stability is more valuable than chasing a new headline. Everything hinges on how the playoffs unfold. Cleveland's trajectory, Golden State's flexibility, the Lakers' aggressiveness in improving the roster, and, of course, LeBron's own priorities: money, legacy, competitiveness, and the desire to control the final chapters of one of the greatest careers in basketball history. When you start connecting all these dots, you realize this decision is not just about choosing a jersey for next season. It is about shaping the final stretch of an all-time career. LeBron James is not simply picking a team. He is deciding how the story will be remembered. Every move from this point forward carries extra weight because we are clearly closer to the end than the beginning, and that reality changes the calculation. If we focus again on the Lakers, there's a scenario where patience becomes the smartest play. Imagine Los Angeles finishes strong, builds real chemistry, and proves that with the right adjustments, they can legitimately compete with the elite teams in the Western Conference. In that case, continuity starts to look extremely attractive. LeBron would not have to uproot his family, learn a new system, or build new on-court relationships from scratch. He would instead double down on something already established and chase one more title in purple and gold. There is also the financial ecosystem of Los Angeles. Beyond basketball, the market provides unmatched opportunities. While legacy is built through championships, long-term influence and business growth matter too. Staying with the Lakers allows LeBron to continue operating in one of the most powerful sports markets in the world. That factor might not dominate the conversation publicly, but it absolutely exists in the background of any major decision. Now, if we pivot back to Cleveland, the emotional pull remains undeniable. A farewell tour in the city where it all began would be poetic. Fans would embrace it. The arena would be electric every single night. But basketball decisions cannot be based on emotion alone. If the Cavaliers are already on the verge of competing for a championship without making drastic changes, management has to ask a tough question. Is it worth sacrificing depth, youth, and flexibility to bring back a legend, even if that legend is still producing at a high level? Roster balance is everything in today's NBA. One blockbuster move can tilt the scales in either direction. Trading away a defensive anchor or key rotation pieces to clear space for LeBron could weaken the very foundation that made Cleveland dangerous in the first place. And if that gamble does not immediately result in a championship, the long-term consequences could linger for years. Golden State presents a different kind of intrigue. The idea of LeBron and Stephen Curry finally sharing the floor as teammates instead of rivals would instantly become one of the most watched storylines in sports. Offensively, the combination would be terrifying. Curry's off-ball movement would stretch defenses to their breaking point, and LeBron's passing vision would carve up any coverage thrown their way. Defenders would be forced into impossible choices on every possession. But there is a flip side to that dream scenario. The Warriors are no longer the overwhelmingly dominant force they once were. The Western Conference has evolved. Younger teams have risen. Depth and athleticism have become even more critical. If Golden State restructures its roster to accommodate LeBron, it must ensure the supporting cast remains strong enough to survive the grind of a full season and the intensity of playoff basketball. And let us not forget expectations. If LeBron joins the Warriors, there would be zero patience from the outside world. Analysts, fans, and critics would immediately label them championship or bust. Every loss will be magnified. Every minor injury would spark panic. That environment can be both motivating and exhausting. At this stage of his career, LeBron might value stability and calculated opportunity over constant turbulence. Another important factor is pride. Throughout his journey, LeBron has taken immense pride in proving he can elevate different situations. Returning to Cleveland once delivered a historic championship that silenced doubters. Winning in Los Angeles added another layer to his legacy. If he stays with the Lakers and captures one more title, it reinforces the narrative that he can sustain excellence even as the league grows younger and faster around him. Age, however, is undefeated. While LeBron continues to defy traditional timelines, subtle signs of wear are natural. The burst is slightly reduced. Recovery requires more management. That does not mean he is no longer elite, but it does mean roster construction around him must be precise. He cannot carry a flawed team through sheer force the way he once did in his early years. The margin for error is slimmer now. This is why the front office in Los Angeles plays such a critical role. If they can identify the right complementary pieces, protect future assets, and avoid short-sighted desperation moves, they give LeBron a compelling reason to stay. A smart offseason could eliminate much of the speculation simply by presenting a clear path toward contention. There is also the personal challenge element. Some competitors thrive on proving people wrong. If critics argue that his window has closed or that a move elsewhere is necessary to chase another ring, that could fuel him to remain exactly where he is and attempt to win under pressure. The narrative of finishing strong in Los Angeles carries a certain dramatic appeal. At the same time, we cannot completely dismiss the possibility that LeBron simply wants a new experience before it is all over. Playing alongside Curry for a season, experimenting with a different style, and embracing a fresh locker room dynamic could be enticing. After so many years in the spotlight, sometimes change itself becomes motivating. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on, Los Angeles is buzzing with anticipation after the Lakers officially announced what many are already calling the dawn of a new era. Sources close to the team hint that a bona fide superstar is set to join the roster, sparking waves of excitement and speculation across the league. Fans and analysts alike are scrambling to connect the dots, debating which elite talent could make such a dramatic impact in LA's star-studded environment. While the franchise has kept details under wraps, insiders suggest that the Lakers front office has been working behind the scenes for months, orchestrating moves that could reshape the balance of power in the Western Conference. The timing of this revelation has only fueled speculation, as experts analyze recent trade patterns, free agent whispers, and subtle hints dropped by team executives. Social media is ablaze with theories, ranging from seasoned veterans seeking a championship run to younger phenoms eager to make their mark on one of basketball's most storied franchises. The implications for the Lakers are enormous. Adding a superstar could elevate the team from perennial contenders to outright favorites, creating a lineup capable of challenging for a title immediately. Analysts are already projecting potential rotations, defensive strategies, and how this new figure might mesh with existing stars. Rival teams are reportedly taking notice, with some quietly reconsidering their offseason plans in anticipation of a formidable Lakers squad. Beyond the tactical impact, there's a cultural shift brewing in Los Angeles. The Lakers have long been synonymous with glamour, media attention, and championship pedigree, and the arrival of a new superstar promises to intensify that spotlight. Fans are envisioning electric nights at the arena, marquee matchups, and a resurgence of the kind of hype that defines historic seasons. Even casual observers are tuning in, curious to witness whether this move could spark the next iconic chapter in Lakers lore. As the rumor mill churns, the excitement is palpable. Whether this is a blockbuster signing or a strategic piece of long-term planning, one thing is clear. The Lakers are positioning themselves at the center of basketball conversations worldwide. Speculation is the currency of the moment, and Los Angeles is the marketplace. Everyone is waiting for the reveal, imagining the possibilities, and wondering how this bold step will redefine the landscape of the NBA. If the whispers prove true, a new era has indeed begun, and the City of Angels may soon witness a basketball spectacle unlike any other. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.